No truth is not in her.
So today I'm going to introduce a continuation model which I have yet to release that played out perfectly on 22nd of February, sorry, 21st of February. And I just want to go over how to identify the model and obviously how to trade and how to use it. So with this diagram, you have the 1 hour CRT range here. And then we go on to the lower time frame, the 1 minute, which is represented by these lines here. We start by locating a lower time frame SMT within the range without taking the high or the low. So we locate an SMT within the range. Then we look for a valid order block that presents. And in this case, normally what will happen is there will either be an order block here before the SMT, which will get tapped, or there is a fair value gap which the order block taps into while forming this SMT close below. And then we get the retracement into the order block. And then shorts from here with our stop loss above with our stop loss at the SMT and our TP obviously towards the draw liquidity wherever that is. Now, if you miss that entry, that's fine. So normally what will happen is we will close below that swing low, right? We will either consolidate or expand a little bit. We will form a high. And this isn't necessarily always going to happen, but ideally you will see an SMT at these highs below the range or even just within the range. So you'll see an SMT at these highs. You'll see a retracement into this order block that formed during this swing high. Okay, so this is a order block. We tap back into the order block with that SMT. And again, this is another valid entry here. And for the final time, when we form that SMT, we come down here, we close below that order block. Now again, the continuation model is best traded in the condition where when we have the 1 hour range and we see the next 1 hour candle close below or close within or close above, right? So the best trades are going to be, in this case, if this is 8 a.m., we're going to wait for the 9 a.m. candle to close. Once it does, you mark out the high and the low of that candle, which is marked by this high and this low, for example. Now, do remember that you can also use a closure of a 15-minute candle that closed beyond the range, but also a 1 hour candle that closed below the range as well. So you can use both. Then you locate a order block or PD array at or near the equilibrium of that 1 hour 9 a.m. range. And again, you can also use the equilibrium of that 15-minute candle range that closed below the higher time frame 1 hour CRT range as well. You wait for a retrace, in this case, which was this order block which formed during this SMT. and you take your entry, you stop loss above the high, and then you're targeting the existing draw liquidity. This order block here, it is also a propulsion block because it tapped into this order block. A propulsion block is just an order block that touches an order block, right? And then we get the tap of that propulsion block and an immediate reaction to continue down to the existing buy side level. So feel free to screenshot this diagram. And obviously vice versa for the buys. Now I also want to discuss the difference between high and low probability order blocks. On the left, we have the high probability. We will have a thick body on the bearish and the bullish candle. So in this bearish order block, I will personally always wait for the wick to be closed below. Some people will wait for the opening range. I like to wait for the wick. Gives me more confluence, and I've had trades where I wait for the opening price and I always get stopped out. And obviously for the bullish order block, we have the close above the wick high. Low probability order blocks, what are their characteristics? We have a small body and large wicks, okay? In a high probability, we have thick up close or down close candles with small wicks, and a low probability order block will form as a small body and a large wick. So in this case, again, we wait for the wicks to get closed below. So the bearish order block, obviously, we wait for the wick to be closed below. And again, for the bullish example, we wait for the wick to be closed above. And with these candles, I will normally use, for the bearish example, I will normally use the bottom wick as the order block. And for the bullish example, I will use the top wick as the order block. Now, again, going back to this, what are the conditions to look for when we're looking for a continuation flank? Now, obviously, I pointed out how if we have SMT within the range, say this is still in the 8 AM hour, we can most definitely take shorts here. But the most probable continuation plays occur when we have the next hour close below this low, candle low, or the 15-minute candle during the 9 AM hour closes below that hourly low. And then we mark out the high to the low of that candle. We have the equilibrium. We wait for a retracement after the close of that candle into or near the equilibrium into a PD array, such as this order block here. And we take our short entry with stop loss above that swing high when using the order block. Now let's get onto the charts. Also, mind you, I forgot to mention, so what do we look for when we're taking a continuation play? As I mentioned, you can have, when you have SMT at the within the range at the highs in a bearish example, say if this is still not 9 AM, say if this is still within the 8 AM. Okay, so what do we look for? What conditions do we look for in these continuation plays? Obviously, we wait for that 8 AM candles to close, right? Now, going into the 9 AM hour, if we see an SMT within the range without taking a high or a low, if we see SMT at these highs, that is one of our conditions to consider that this could possibly be a continuation play downwards. Now, our confluence, now that SMT is a must, okay? For me, if we have formed SMT inside of the range, this is a must to see. This is compulsory, not optional. Okay, we must see SMT. But we must also see, which is not optional, but rather compulsory, is we have already tapped a higher time frame key level. Okay. If our key level is up here, we cannot take this trade. Okay, we haven't tapped any key levels to engineer a reversal down. If we have tapped this key level here, 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 right, we are in that range. We have not taken this CRT high yet, but we have tapped the key level, engineering a likely reversal to the downside with this SMT compulsory, 4-hour key level compulsory. Now, what we would also like to see is for bullish PD arrays to be disrespected. Now let's go on to the charts for an example. We have our 8 a.m. CRT high. We have our 8 a.m. CRT low. Okay, as you can see, we have that CRT high, CRT low with this 1 hour candle. Now, what did I point out before? We have already tapped that key level. Okay. What do we notice? We notice SMT within the range. Okay. We have also started to disrespect bullish PD arrays. Such as this. Obviously, we didn't close below this until we formed the SMT. But as you can see, we started disrespecting it. What do we also see? We see this order block here on the 2-minute. Sorry, the 3-minute being respected. So we are disrespecting bullish PD arrays and we are respecting bearish PD arrays. All right. Now, we have that SMT. We have the 4-hour key level, which we've already tapped into. Okay. We have formed an order block, which we tested before that SMT. So I would not have taken a trade here. But we had this order block here, which is very nicely respected after the SMT was confirmed with the swing high creation. Now, what did I mention before? We look at either a 1-hour candle closure below, right? The candle that broke the range, or a 15-minute candle that closed below. In this case, this candle broke the range. We did not retrace to the 50%. However, this candle here, we have that close below. We have SMT with this 1-minute swing high and this 1-minute swing high, where ES did not take this high. We have an order block formation entry. Stop loss above the swing high. And for me, the target was previous day low. Okay. As you can see, we took that low, immediately rejecting, forming an order block, somewhat respecting it before breaking through. Now, I also want to point out that we had a propulsion block, a propulsion block or an order block within a order block here. I will name this propulsion block. And normally with these propulsion blocks, you want to see immediate reactions. As you can see, we hit it to the pip and we immediately reject it, dumping further. Okay, if you wanted to use the change in the state of delivery, which is the closure below the series of up close candle, you could have most definitely have done so. Right. Again, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this educational content. Let me know if you have any questions, if you'd like for me to produce more content like this, or if you have any other suggestions. That's it from me today. I hope you have a good a good weekend, and happy trading and good luck.